Hi!
How's it going?
Pretty good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing very good.
Okay, so today I am talking to Cold God, who has exciting ass news for us. Oh my god.
Yes, I do.
Okay, well tell us what's up. Tell us what's up.
Well, listen, everybody. The game is changing. Just when you thought everything was the same, like Drake said, nothing was the same after this moment because Cold God is now officially signed to Dais Records. That's right. Your favorite label. My favorite label.
My two favorites are Dais and Artifact, for sure.
Yeah.
And
I love Dais.
Huge news. You're on the same label as freaking Drab Majesty and TR-Sex.
Yes, yeah. So Cold God played a show at a hardcore festival in LA. So it was called Back to Black Fest. It was like it's seemingly like it might be a one-time thing, which is a shame because I thought it was like a really cool idea to have a bunch of, POC fronted or at least majority POC hardcore bands like play a festival together.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we did that. Zulu played, Soul Glow played, a bunch of other bands. And me and Duck, who's the bass player in Cold God, we do a hardcore band from time to time. It only has like a demo out, but we got asked to play. And I knew that we probably couldn't cook up enough songs at the time. So I was like, well, can you ask a friend of ours, his name is Braxton, and he plays in Zulu. He's the one who was like booking all the bands and stuff. And I was like, ask him if Cold God can play. And so they were like, yeah, like Cold God's all set. So our hardcore band, we dropped. So Cold God was opening. So we opened this whole hardcore festival. And it got a write-up on Cult Nation.
Oh, wow.
Which was sick.
Cult Nation.
Yeah, and then shout out to my man Sean from Cult Nation. Love to you and yours, my friend. But they did a piece and we were like the first part of it, and like everybody else in the article got they got like a little blurb, but we didn't, which is okay. Like wasn't a big deal. Because like what came of it, like instead of just being, asked the same line of questioning that everybody else was asked, Sean hits me up and he's like, hey, like the second I heard Cold God, and like you're playing the show, I thought that was super sick. So I started sending your stuff around to a couple labels, and Dais wants to talk.
Whoa.
And they're like, would you be interested? From there, it was pretty much, like it was a dream come true. And I told them that, and I can't stop saying it because that Them Are Us 2 record, Remain.
Oh yeah.
It really did, like, it was perfect timing for everything, and that record like really spoke to me. And from that point on, I just became a huge Dais head. It's kind of cool, just like after all those years, because Remain came out 2015, so this is like 7 years later. And,
I'm a huge Dais head because when I started my Twitter, I was like, where do I restart this radio empire thing that I used to have going?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what will I do? I will look at all of the bands on one label. What label am I going to look at? And I went over to postpunk.com, and I was like, okay, well, Dais is represented heavily here. I'm just going to focus on Dais. And so I focused on the band Tempers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Love
God,
them.
Tempers. I love them. And I focused on Drab Majesty, and I focused on Them Are Us too. I was like, those three are incredible. And to me, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong here. Dais is doing this thing where they were like, you know what? There's a region that has a sound, and we're going to capture it. And
Oh,
they've
yeah.
been doing that since, like, I don't know, what, 2015?
Yeah, definitely. Like they got because it's so the label is based in both LA and New York.
Huh.
And I do think that they capture both sounds from both areas very well.
Yeah.
And it's cool because every act on that label, even though some people can be labeled under the same genre, subgenre, clique, what have you, everybody has their own individual thing that obviously like has garnered them like people to listen to them. And so it's cool because there's obviously an aesthetic there, but they have trust enough in the artists that they sign to be able to like still like do their own thing, and like people just keep coming back time and time again. And you see that with Drab for sure. You see that with Temperance. You see that with Spice now. Spice now gonna be on album 2.
Yeah, and I love that new Spice song that came out on the Dais YouTube channel, and I've got to check out that whole album. Oh my god! Yeah. But I think it's forthcoming, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not out yet. It's just a single. I forget when it's supposed to drop, but yeah,
like
just
May or something, right?
Yeah, that seems right. Sometime like close to the summer. And that like even that one song, it's got like a very summery feel to it.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know. It's the video is fantastic as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a big subscriber to the Dais YouTube channel because they always put up just the best stuff. Yeah, and I love that they're reissuing Coil.
Speaks to just what they do and like how they're able to just like get that shit out there to like a wider audience and all that stuff. And like speaking of reissues, I think that Nocturnal Projections thing was a reissue. I love that record too.
Talk to me about this.
Unfortunately, I'm not the historian of the band, but with my limited understanding of it, they're an Australian post-punk band. From the 80s, I believe. I mean, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, and please do. But just they have a song, it's like track 1 or 2 called Isn't It Strange. I remember there was like a certain point, it was like maybe the first winter I had spent in Chicago, and I just listened to that song over and over again. So it's really cool. So Nocturnal Projections, Isn't It Strange? That's a good track.
They did a reissue of an 80s band called Getting Out the Fear, and they're an old post-punk band, and I love that. So I'll check out Nocturnal Projections as well.
Yeah.
I loved putting that on my post-punk list because I run like stupid many lists. Yeah.
But it's good. It's good to keep it running, new discovery and all that sort of stuff.
Right. And honestly, had I not been running the Tuesday Doomsday show with the harder core side of shoegaze, which I've always liked, but which my station manager was like, please do focus on this. Had I not been doing that, I don't think Fabrizio Luzo would have sent me your stuff, and then I would not know about Cold God until it just appeared on Dais. But yeah,
you're day one for sure.
Yeah, I am so extremely excited for you guys. Oh my god.
Thank you.
I think this is going to be big news. And I think Dais, actually, as a record label, is big news.
Yeah.
Like, look how... I'm just looking at the history of it, right? And look how Artifact started out with a few bands from Vancouver, and then suddenly they're like this huge post-punk thing. And Dais started out with a few bands from LA and some from New York, and now they're this huge thing. And so I really think, like, that's super exciting.
Yeah. And it's cool. Like, it's super cool to just be a part of that and, just take like the next steps and get bigger. Like, get this as big as it could go.
Do you guys have new music coming out?
Well, God, get me the fuck out of here.
Going to issue physical copies of it. Please tell me they're going to. If you shoot that, I'm going to be on that physical copy like a rat on a Cheeto.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always on physical copies of everything like a rat on a Cheeto. Hopefully they issue it on vinyl, but even if it's just CD, I'm down.
Yeah. No, it's coming out on both.
Oh, good. Because I love having the vinyl of things. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. And I'm super excited for the vinyl to come, too.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge, huge step for every artist, I think.
Yeah. And it's just like, again, that's just like more dream come true stuff. Like, I remember, like, I started playing music when I was 18. I'm 26 now. You know, I've had like a couple cassettes, but that's like, you know, you can get that done by like whoever, whenever.
Oh, sure.
But like vinyl, and especially like to that degree, that's like, again, dream come true stuff.
Dude, if the EMP hits and you have a record player, there is a possibility that you could hand crank that shit and make it play. It does actually exist in the physical world. I'm always saying that on like my dream history shows, get it on vinyl because then it actually exists. And oh my God, how cool that is.
You know, it's an interesting time now with like the streaming and everything, like what's valued more, and like for it to be like on vinyl, like that size. I mean, that's the stuff that people end up like making things artifacts. Like think about first pressings of like, you know, Loveless or Souvlaki, or you have like just whatever, like all that stuff that like stands the test of time.
Yeah, that's what excites me about this Cold God release. That it's going to be a physical media and it's going to exist in perpetuity.